Yo, what's up, guys? Milan have themselves a new right back, signing Zachary Athekame from BCS Young Boys for 10 million euros, guys. Athekame will sign a contract till 2029 with an option until 2030. Now, guys, obviously, I'm not going to come on here and say I know everything about the Swiss League and about Zachary Athekame. Of course, obviously, a lot of us Milan fans don't really know about this player very much, but I did watch a couple videos on this player. I did look up a couple statistics about this player. Athekame is only 20 years old, young player, of course. Played 30 games in the Swiss League last year, 8 games in the Champions League, of course. So really good to see, guys, that he's durable. He doesn't get injured very much. Obviously, he has experience in Europe, playing in the Champions League, of course, playing 8 games last year, like I just mentioned, of course. Now, one surprising stat that I saw was Athekame was like first in chances created, tackling, guys, crosses. So for a right back at his position, something that us Milan fans have seen, a position that has been in absolutely dire need of some quality. Of course, we've seen the type of right backs that Milan have had in the past, naming 2 players like Davide Calabria and Emerson Royal, of course, players that have nowhere near the quality to be playing for AC Milan, of course. Now, obviously, Athekame, we haven't seen much of him, but I like what I've seen in the videos I've seen of the player. He's got pace, he hustles, strong defensively, of course. And obviously the statistics I just mentioned, of course, the guy, he's really strong on the slide tackles. When I saw the videos of him, he really knows how to track back guys, so he's not a lazy defender. So that's obviously really positive to see, of course. Now, he's going to have some time to get acclimatized to the team, of course. Now, he's going to fly to Milan tomorrow, of course. Obviously, Milan have a game against Bari this week, so I don't expect him to start in that game, of course. But Milan got the deal done for 10 million euros. I think it's a cheap deal, of course, for a young player. Milan have been signing nothing but young players this window. You got Jashari, Jashari, Ricci, of course. You signed De Winter, and now you add this kid, of course. So 4 players, 23 and under, of course, guys. So that's obviously great. Obviously, adding Modric on top of it as a free agent, of course, with the age and experience that he has. Bringing a guy like that to a team with all these young players is absolutely fantastic, of course. Now, Athekame's obviously going to be fighting for minutes, of course, with Jimenez, maybe Salamakers, guys. But I think this player could be a positive influence on the team. He brings something new to the squad. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we haven't had a pacey right back since probably Ignacio Abate. So this kid here will finally bring some pace that this club is needed on the right flank. Obviously, we saw Teo, what he was like on the left side for all those years with the pace and power that he had. And Milan never had that on the right side. Now, I'm not saying Athekame could be that, but maybe he brings something new to the squad that this team needs, guys. So I like the signing, cheap deal, young player, can learn. Obviously, has some experience, of course, in Europe, like I mentioned, guys. So I think it's a very good deal. Obviously, Milan was looking at a player like Joel Adoué, of course, from Strasbourg, but a player worth 30 million euros, guys. You know Milan's not going to spend that kind of money, of course, and they went for, obviously, the cheaper option. Same thing with Coney De Winter, of course, instead of going for Giovanni Leone, who ended up signing for Liverpool today, of course, which is absolutely disastrous, of course. Now, what else happened in Milan with the transfer window, of course, is Terranciano, Filippo Terranciano, and Warren Bondo are heading to Cremonese. Of course, Bondo's signing on a 1-year dry loan, which is good. I think it's a good move for Bondo, guys. Young player. He was like 5th or 6th in the pecking order, guys. Bondo wouldn't have got much playing time. So I think going to Cremonese, playing every week, will be very good for him, guys. He'll be able to gain confidence, experience, maybe become a better player, of course. So I think it's a great move for Warren Bondo, guys. And then Terranciano, of course, I think it's a move he needed to make, guys. You know, Terranciano wasn't playing very much. You know, was sitting on the bench most of the time. Now, Milan could get 3 to 4 million euros if Cremonese stay in Serie A this next season coming up, of course. So we'll see what happens. Milan can make a couple bucks off Terranciano if they stay in Serie A. Bondo getting playing time and experience is fantastic, so I think that's good for him, of course. Now, obviously, another midfielder, we don't know what's happening yet, guys, is Yunus Musa, of course. If Yunus Musa decides to get sold by Milan for 27 to 30 million euros to Nottingham Forest, does Milan go dipping into the market again and getting another center midfielder, maybe Javi Guerra? There's been a lot of talk about him. There's also chatter about another defender, Inokoli from Leicester. So some things are still going on in the market, guys. I'm glad Milan was able to finally get the Athekame deal done. It took them about almost 10 days to get the deal done. It took a little bit longer than expected, of course, because Young Boys wanted to try to raise Milan's offer. Of course, they wanted Milan to offer more money. You know, so it was ridiculous. They wanted 13. Milan was able to wither it down to 10, of course, but Milan added a 10% resale clause, guys. So obviously, if Milan sells Athekame, they're going to have to give a little bit to Young Boys. The same thing with Schalke when Milan sold Malik Chow to Newcastle. Schalke had a 10% resale clause, guys. So good move for Milan, guys. I like the move they made with Terranciano and Bondo as well. So some positive signings, guys. But Milan got to start dumping some players, some salary guys that they need to dump. Of course, like I mentioned in past videos, Benacer and Natalie. What happens with Musa, of course, guys? Do they sell Chukwueze? A lot of question marks still in the transfer market, guys. But I like what Milan's done, signing young players, focusing on young talent. Now we'll have to see what happens in the striker position. It seems like Rasmus Højlund is opening up the doors to come into AC Milan, guys, after initially having hesitation about leaving Man United, which makes no sense to me, of course. The guy's barely going to play. They just signed Benjamin Sesko for 85 million euros. He's barely going to play. He'll get way more playing time at Milan. I think this deal will get done for a loan fee, guys, of 6 million and then a buy option for 45 million. I think we could all agree Milan is no way in hell spending 45 million euros on Rasmus Højlund. So I think we can all agree it's going to be a 1-year loan for Højlund, and then we'll see what happens, guys. But, guys, interesting times ahead. The Coppa Italia game against Bari is this Sunday. Very interesting to see how Milan plays in this game, guys. Like I mentioned last time, Allegri's not going to be on the sideline for that game, guys. So we'll see what happens in that game, guys. I'm looking forward to the season starting, guys. It's been a long 2 months, but I can't wait for Milan's season to get going. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Forza Milan sempre, as always, guys. And remember, if you do not watch sports, you're more. Ciao, guys.